Now it's garden season here in Kentucky, and this is the first garden tour of 2026. Hey friends, it's Barbara Sue at Kowalski Mountain, and welcome back to the homestead. Now I am super excited to show you. Philip has been working really hard in the garden already this spring, and we have quite a bit to show for it already. Now let's look and see what's already growing here on our homestead in April as we kick off garden season here in 2026. Now the garden is pretty close to the pig pen, so I know you can hear happy little squeals because I'm over here and they think it might be supper. Now right behind me you can see garlic. And then this is onions right here. Now the garlic we planted back in the fall. I did an experiment with garlic to plant expensive garlic producing garlic from Garlic Gods. And I also planted grocery store garlic. Now, this is neither one of it. In this garden, Philip planted garlic that he bought locally. And I'll look up the variety for you because I don't remember off the top of my head. This garlic was bought all from our Amish neighbors and it's looking really good. Now we also planted some onions. So let's look a little closer. Now right here underneath the tarps are carrots, and he's been having some trouble with that. It's not growing nearly as much as he'd like. Oh, I see some little baby carrots. Now back on this part of the garden, we've got some broccoli and cilantro and spinach all planted together. Now Philip likes to do companion gardening to take advantage of the natural pest prevention that the other plants give to each other, and also just the benefits of the way they feed and how they take advantage of the nutrients in the soil. Now Meg keeps reaching out and tipping over this barrel. As of this filming, we are still waiting on Meg to have her calf, and her udder is really filling up. I really hope I can tell you when I publish this video that she's had her calf. Her due date was on Wednesday. Today is actually Thursday. Come on girl, have that baby. Now here I am in another row. So over here on this side of me there are onions. And I could actually start cutting the tops and use that like in recipes and stuff. There's also lettuce intermixed into those rows. Now on this side of me, there is also lettuce and spinach. And we did get these seeds from start. You know, I started seeds. I actually started a lot of seeds in my greenhouse. And my germination rate was terrible. Like, across the board it was terrible, but I do feel a little bit better because one of our Amish friends has a very large greenhouse, and one of the things she does is she will plant seeds for other people who don't have greenhouses. We took her all the seeds and she was going to take care of it for us, and some of those seeds did not germinate either, so it wasn't 100% me. Some of it I think was the seeds, but our germination rate was super bad. And then I had a mouse get into my greenhouse and eat the tops off of my plants and go around digging in all of my seed starts, I'm sure eating the seeds. So we really need a better seed starting system. Our greenhouse, we're not there yet. You know, when you're building a homestead, everything takes a long time. We're not there yet with that. So thankfully it is super cheap to buy seed starts from our Amish neighbor, so I don't feel guilty about it at all. Now in this garden, our rows are almost 90 feet long. Now right now I'm standing in the middle of the peas area, and there's two full rows. There's plants on both sides of the trellis, and they are doing great. Now peas is one of those foods you have to grow a ton of them if you want any peas. And so we really want some peas because we have almost 400 feet of peas here. Remind me of that when I'm shelling them, okay? Now you can see really well in this particular row, our paths have quite a bit of weeds in them. So Philip is using sawdust that we got from the local Amish sawmill that we can buy really cheap. And he's using that in the path. So you can see that he's got this path, sawdust in it, and that's going to really help keep some of these weeds under control. Now in this part of the garden, we have potatoes and cilantro, and again, that's the companion planting that he's doing here. Philip bought about 100 pounds of seed potatoes, and he's only planted 50 pounds of it. The other 50 pound we have put away, and we're going to plant potatoes again in the fall. In the fall, it's really hard to find seed potatoes, so you have to kind of plan ahead for that. Now, I don't know if you've noticed, but it's super dry out here. Super, super dry, and we have been watering. We try to use an approach like the Amish do, where they don't water, and they just go off of God's grace. But that doesn't always work. They really need some water, and it's super dry already, so we are watering. I think I'm going to do another whole video on how we do water here on our homestead, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that, but I am going to do that in a future video. These are potatoes, and they were some potatoes that we grew last year that just sprouted before we could eat them. Philip planted them in this ring, and filled it up, and put the potatoes in it. You can see there's potatoes sprouting all over the place. Honestly, I don't know what's under there. Oh, that might be the beets. He planted beets as well, so that might be beets under there. Now this is our cover crop that we planted this year. Philip planted winter wheat. And of course, some of it he's already worked into the soil, but that is what we planted over the winter. And there's my gardener. He did all this hard work. I just get to take pictures. This is corn right here. Now he does a really good job of doing succession plantings of corn. So this is the first one. Planted it in a little square. I see you. Hi, Cookie. Hi, Cookie. So the piglets are all pretty jumpy right now because we castrated all the males, which got everybody all upset.
Come on, babies. Come on.
So the piglets are 4 weeks old. They've got a couple more weeks with us, and then they're going to move on to their forever homes. This is Chocolate Chip. And this is Ginger. She's our new gilt that we purchased. She's a Duroc mix. She's about 75% Duroc. So we're going to strengthen those genes here in our piglets. Now Philip likes to raise the piglets himself. That way he can train them up the way he wants. She's really jumpy. She just got here about a week ago. And we had to catch her, and that didn't make her very happy either. So her full name is Ginger Snap. All of our pigs have Cookie names. Our grandkids helped us name the other ones. And so we've just continued the trend here with Ginger Snap. All right, now we have 2 more gardens. That's the big garden. That's the production garden where most of our produce is. We're migrating it mostly that way anyway. We had it a little bit more separated in past years, but it's hard to work so many spaces, and he likes it really close by here. Now this is another one of our gardening spaces. Right here we've got some grapes, and these grapes are on year 2, so Philip's going to go ahead and put in the wire this year so that they can start climbing. And this is one of our strawberry spaces, and then there's my garlic experiment over there. So let's take a closer look. Now this is that garden where I did that garlic experiment, and I'm going to link that video for you up here where I talk about everything I planted, the different varieties, and the grocery store garlic. I'm pretty sure, I'd have to look at all the labels, but I think the grocery store garlic is right in this area. Now it actually grew pretty good. If I were to give you an assessment right now, I think the locally bought garlic is doing the best. That's just my initial assessment. We'll see when we harvest. Guineas! There you are. There you are. Now the guineas are locked up because the guineas really like strawberries. They don't usually mess with much of the garden, but the strawberries, they go through, take a bite out of every strawberry. So they are locked up in jail until strawberry season wraps up. It's not a very long season, so it'll be a few weeks they'll be locked up. But it gives the chickens a little break from them too. Now the other perk about the guineas being locked up is it makes it real easy to find their eggs. They like to hide their eggs. So I have the incubator full of eggs right now, and I'll get at least one more batch out before I let them loose, and then I just have to go on an egg hunt. Now this is another strawberry patch, just a small one, and also there are some tame blackberries, so those are thornless blackberries there. Now Philip took a bunch of cuttings and he's going to cut more. He wants to really expand our blackberry patch. Now we also have a lot of fruit trees here on the farm. And we lost a few this year. We lost a plum, so that's a plum right there. We lost a peach tree down near the end, but we still have 5 peach trees. And then we have about 10 apple trees. Now, unfortunately, we also had a frost after the peaches had bloomed. And I could have just cried when I saw that. So I was looking at the trees the other day and I didn't see a single peach. So that's not good news. Now I'm going to look at our last garden space. And this is a big strawberry patch. This is the biggest one. Now last year we picked over 90 pounds of strawberries, and I expect that we're going to get about that this year as well. Now Philip has been working to separate the runners, plant them in new areas, and you can see that one area, man, those need to be watered. Now we really didn't do anything to our strawberries to overwinter them. We didn't mulch them. Philip does fertilize, but they just did really, really well. Now before we moved here to Kentucky, we had a garden, much smaller than here, obviously, and we also did some container gardening. We have never gotten strawberries like we did by planting them in the ground. They have done so much better in the ground. They overwinter better. We had green stalks, and we also had just various pots. As much as I love container gardening, and I want to encourage people to garden wherever they are, we used to pick 1 to 2 strawberries a year, maybe a half dozen, a dozen if we were really lucky. But here we pick pound after pound after pound. It's made a huge difference of putting them in the ground. So that's just my 2 cents on that. This is our biggest peach tree. And last year, this tree had hundreds of peaches on it. And the bugs got every single peach. We didn't get a single one. I'm not seeing any peaches. Not one. Hopefully they're still coming, but that's one. That might be a peach. Well, I guess we'll see. Now over here in this part of the garden, we do have some more garlic, and believe it or not, those are volunteers. Those are garlic that came back from last year when apparently we missed picking some garlic. So there's actually quite a bit. Now I don't know if Philip rearranged it a little bit. He's always out here. He is the true master gardener here. I do most of the food preservation. I used to do a lot more of that stuff, but he likes to do it. He likes to do it his way, and so I let him. And I'll handle the preservation because I am going to be busy preserving all this food. Now we also have sunflowers coming up in here that are volunteers because last year we had sunflowers here as well. Well, friends, that is the garden this year, and we're off to a great start. Now I am super excited to see things going in like tomatoes and peppers and cucumbers, zucchini, all of that kind of stuff. I can hardly wait so that we can have a lot more vegetables for fresh eating. Now here on our homestead, we eat with the seasons. So I'm not going to say we don't buy produce, because we do, but we don't buy very much. We actually buy very little. We really rely on what we grow. That was the point of our homesteading, is that we could grow and eat what we grow. And I still have a lot of corn preserved. I have a lot of green beans. Peas are gone. Carrots are gone. Potatoes are gone. Onions are gone. So I'm buying a little bit of those things, but not a whole lot. We grow what we eat what we grow, and we try to make enough to last throughout the year and to enjoy those things when they are in season, because that's what eating used to be like before we had grocery stores where food was available all the time. You used to only get strawberries in strawberry season. Now, friends, I don't know what time it is. I only have a little while until I go walk with my friends, and I do want to go look for some morel mushrooms. Now I don't have long, but I am going to take you along. We're going to go up on the mountain and see what we can find. Hey friends. Well, it is the next day. I thought better of going out yesterday to look for mushrooms because with my knee, I don't walk super fast to head up the mountain. And when I say we have a mountain, we do. And the morels are near the top. So it's quite a walk for me with my knee injury still. And so I decided I better just take my time. So today is the next day. We got some much needed rain last night, but you can't even tell. It's still super dry. Now right now I am trekking up to see if I can find these mushrooms. Now I looked back at some records of when we last found mushrooms, and we found them around April 12th, which is a little bit later than that right now. I was out of town at that time. And it's a lot more green out here than it was that time of year. When all the greenery starts coming in, it gets a lot harder to find the mushrooms. So we'll see. Wish me luck. Now we have a pretty nice trail system here on our property. I can walk 2 miles on the trails in the woods on our 68 acres without ever leaving the farm. But the bad part is I don't come out here very often because of ticks. So I don't actually come out here near as much as I would like. In the fall and winter when it would be better, it's hunting season. And then it gets here into spring and summer, and I avoid ticks. But it sure is pretty out here. All right, now I'm gonna be huffing and puffing my way up this hill. You get to enjoy the journey. All right, so this morel mushroom hunting trip is interrupted by Meg having her calf. So I gotta get back down the hill. Thankfully, I walk faster down the hill than I walk up. But I don't know where she's at. I knew she was gonna have it today. I just knew it. Come on, let's go. Come on, Rox! Come on! See you in a bit. Okay, Meg, I'm here now. What was that?
Gotta fly on that side. I don't want to mess with it while she's flying. Yeah, I thought I saw the hoop.
Just in time for the big show, Meg. I knew she was gonna do it. I checked her before I left. She was laying down,
Yeah, the pressure.
relaxing.
There we go. Can you tell what it is? Yes.
I feel better about that.
Good girl. Look at that face. think it's a girl where the hips are shaped. Oh, yep, saw. Thought maybe the shorter nose was a giveaway and a wider nose.
So with dun cows, Prince's dun, they carry that black gene. And I'm kind of surprised we haven't had more black calves because dun and red usually equivalent blacks. We got lucky last year and had another dun. Mama rolling you around in the mud. Uh-huh. Yeah. Are you getting that for me? Vertical? You can do it. There we go. There we go. What is it, Ellie? Sunny, you have a new friend. Sunny, you have a friend. We haven't named him yet. You got any thoughts? What is that? That's your new friend. Well, friends, I have not found any mushrooms yet, and I am almost out of the woods. The clearing is right down the trail. So we had a lot going on this week. We had our first garden tour of the year. Our garden is off to a great start. Meg had her calf. So exciting about that. We've been on calf watch for a couple weeks. And I didn't find any morels, but I got in a walk. So I can't fault that. Well, friends, I hope you have a wonderful week, and if you've stuck around to the end, thank you so much. Now, if you are not a member of the Kowalski Mountain family yet, hit that subscribe button. We'd love to have you join us. Now, as always, I really appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye.